Hey there. So, the last verse that really stood out to me, there was more, of course, but the one that really stood out to me is Proverbs 8. And you know, in the Bibles, it has like kind of like a title to scripture or, a heading in a sense. Proverbs 8 is wisdom's call and goes on to say that my mouth speaks what is true, for my lips detest wickedness. Verse 13, to fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and arrogance, evil behavior, and perverse speech. Then it goes on to kind of compare pride versus wisdom and to have what it means to have wisdom. Wisdom speaks of everything good, everything opposite of pride. To have knowledge, wisdom is knowledge, counsel and sound judgment, understanding and power, laws that are just, love those who love me, riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity, walk in the way of the righteousness, paths of justice, bestowing wealth and treasures full. So I just love the correlation between that. It really shows how opposite wisdom or even righteousness are in the Bible from pride. And this book here that I got goes on to say even those who are caught up in self-pity, who are self-absorbed with a sense of failure, this too is pride. Focusing on themselves too much. They are not concerned with the glory of God, with being thankful for what good gifts and good talents the Lord has given them, but instead they are focused on how they think they have gotten a raw deal or how they are not as good as someone else. That self-pity often makes people kind of compare themselves to others. And actually, my dad actually had a victim mentality a lot, that everybody was against him. So that kind of is the opposite almost, where, there's an opposite of like too much confidence and so much pride in yourself, but also that becomes the opposite side of it, where because of your maybe low self-esteem or low confidence, it makes you envious. So this goes on like several manifestations of pride, and I thought it was interesting because you can kind of rate yourself, or this is how pride shows up in other ways. Complaining against or passing judgment on God. A lack of gratitude in general. They tend to be critical, complaining, and discontent. Anger. A proud person is often an angry person. One's anger can include outbursts of anger, withdrawing, pouting, or frustration. An angry look has been called silent murder. Seeing yourself as better than others. A proud person is usually on top, looking down on others. Having an inflated view of your importance, gifts, and abilities. Being focused on the lack of your gifts or abilities, kind of the opposite. Woe is me, an attitude of self-pity. Perfectionism. People who often strive for everything to be perfect often do so for recognition. Talking too much. Proud people who talk too much often do it because they think that what they have to say is more important than what anyone else has to say. Seeking independence or control. They are often rigid, stubborn, headstrong, and intimidating. I find myself pretty headstrong and never thought of myself as, I knew I was a little controlling, but I never really correlated that with pride. Being consumed with what others think. Some proud people are too concerned about the opinion of others. Many of their decisions are based on what others might think. Being devastated or angered by criticism. Being unteachable. Being sarcastic, hurtful, or degrading. A lack of service. Proud people may not serve because they are not thinking of others, or because they want to be coaxed to serve and don't want to continue if there is no praise. A lack of compassion. Being defensive or blame shifting. How often do we do that in an argument, right, with our spouses? A lack of admitting when you are wrong. A lack of asking for forgiveness. So many people can't say sorry or apologize. Being jealous or envious. Often when they do not enjoy the same benefits, proud people have a hard time being glad for others' successes or blessings. Proud people may try to draw attention to themselves through dress, bizarre behavior, being rebellious, always talking about their problems. It's definitely a reflection of how much we tend to do in our relationships and our marriages and our friendships. So just kind of thought I would share, because that's been part of what I've been going through and what I'm realizing, and maybe starting to acknowledge ways that I myself can change. So, because I don't want to be prideful. And I don't think I am overall, but I know I definitely have tendency to do it. And I also think that if my dad wasn't prideful, then I would probably still have my mom and my dad. So I'm happy to answer any questions. Not that I'm some like knowledgeable person. It's just kind of been my experience and what I've been felt that I've needed to share. Have a good day.